Books don't market themselves. This episode, a conversation with the men behind bookmarketingtools.com.
I'm confused when authors reach out and say, this isn't working, I need help. And then when you provide some basic tips and ideas, they hit back at you and they act like they don't need help. They act like they've tried everything when it was obvious that they haven't.
I'm Chris Well, and this is DIY Author. You're an author. Maybe you're taking the traditional route. Maybe you've chosen an independent path. Or maybe you want the best of both worlds. Wherever you want to go as a writer, DIY Author is here to help you on your journey with advice, encouragement, and practical tips. Because do it yourself doesn't have to mean do it alone. Welcome to DIY Author. I'm your host, Chris Well. Our guests this week are Shawn Manaher, president of Book Marketing Tools, and R.J. Adams, the director of ebooks at Book Marketing Tools. In our conversation, Shawn, R.J., and I discuss how Book Marketing Tools helps authors amp up their business with tools, education, and community. But before we start the interview, our latest author tip comes to us from Wendy L. Koenig. You can find her online at wendylkoenig.com. Her tip is Query Tracker, which sports an extensive database where you can search for a literary agent or publisher for your work. Wendy writes that Query Tracker is a, quote, nifty program to help search and track publishers and agents. They seem to keep it up to date, end quote. She also says that Query Tracker is how she found her own publisher. You can find Query Tracker online at querytracker.net. Thanks to Wendy for that tip, and again, you can find Wendy online at wendylkoenig.com. If you have an author tip or any other kind of feedback, there are all kinds of ways to contact us. You can leave a voice message or email us through diyauthor.com/tips. You can also email us at info@diyauthor.com, or you can just go to diyauthor.com and look for our contact page. And now my interview with Shawn Manaher and R.J. Adams from Book Marketing Tools. And now I'm speaking with the two gentlemen from bookmarketingtools.com, Shawn Manaher and R.J. Adams. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Thank you.
So, Shawn, you are president of Book Marketing Tools. You are the host of the live Google Hangouts, and you own 3 businesses that focus on marketing. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, Chris.
Okay, and then R.J. is the director of ebooks at Book Marketing Tools, and you are also an author. Is that correct?
Yes, and I run a few other businesses that cater to authors as well.
And tell everybody about Book Marketing Tools. It is the 3 pillars of Book Marketing Tools are tools and education and community, and we're gonna get into all 3 of those in the course of the interview. But let's just start with, it looks to me, to an outsider, like you are actually approaching book marketing from opposite directions, and you meet in the middle.
Shawn approached me probably about a year ago about this idea that he had of starting Book Marketing Tools, and I had already been working with authors on my website, ebookshabit.com. It's a free ebook website, like a lot of the other free ebook websites out there, and so
are there hyphens in the title, or it's just ebook habits?
ebookshabit.com.
Ebooks Habit.
Yes, and so okay. He knew I had been working with authors, and I had published my own books, and we're marketing them. And so he approached me, and I liked a lot of the ideas that we had. And so we kind of just came together, put that entrepreneurial ideas together, and figured out what exactly authors need. And I'll let Shawn take it from there.
Yeah, I would say if there's anything different, that RJ and I have different approaches in terms of our roles. So with the business is that RJ is tactically like the most sound person that I've ever met, in how he approaches things. And so where I would get really messed up in trying to step by step figure out, okay, how are we going to do this so that it sings and it does really well? I provide a lot of the vision and direction, and RJ does a fantastic job at getting the tactics in place and implementing it perfectly. And so I think that might be the difference. But yeah, we have been connected for the last, 4 or 5 years through other communities online. And when I saw what he was doing and some of the ideas that I had for Book Marketing Tools, I said, you know what, we need to partner together on this. because it just makes sense. And there's a gap here and we need to fill it.
When you launched it, was it what was the first iteration? Was it just a website, or was it all of these things at the same time? What has it become from the day that you opened the door and put up the shingle?
Sure.
Here?
Yeah. So book marketing tools, the concept and idea, as you said, is tools, education, and community to help authors to market their books better. And so initially getting it started, we were say, well, we have all of these things that we want to do. We want to provide some sort of platform where a community can happen on a weekly, daily basis for authors, because we felt, and we still feel, that there's an opportunity for authors to collaborate and work together and share ideas and say, you know what, this idea for marketing is working for me and this is not, or, you know, I really failed miserably at this area. Then talking about the education, we want to create the platform so that all the education resources, because there's a lot of them now, there's a platform for it. And really where we actually started out on was the tools. And so we said, you know what, we're going to lead from a point of, we're going to create this dashboard for authors so that at any given moment that they can have clear visibility into how their daily sales for their books are going. And that's really where we started. And that was in November that we got that of 2013, got that rolling.
So, why don't we talk about the dashboard then? How does that work?
The dashboard allows authors to connect their KDP account. And before KDP made their most recent update that allowed you to, you weren't able to see the day-by-day stats. And so our dashboard allowed you to do that, put it in very nice graphs. It's still relevant as we're able to track keyword rankings for where you come up for different search results on Amazon. It tracks, you can track multiple keywords per book. You can track your sales rank per book by day. You get daily email alerts so that you're not hitting refresh on your stats dashboard all day to hope you get a sale come in, that you can be productive, do marketing by getting those updates in your email. And we have a special like marketing event section where you're able to put in an event. Let's say today, if we had a book and we were promoting it on this show, we could put this show down as a marketing event and see if this show was able to drive any sales by us being here on the show. And so you can do that with whether you have a press release, whether you have a free promotion or anything like that.
You mentioned that it was just KDP. Is there any need or interest in expanding it to other formats?
Yeah, we definitely want to expand it to other formats. We just want to get it dialed in, see what features people are wanting, so when we are adding those additional accounts. So that's definitely on the docket for plans for the next upgrade.
Okay, and then one of the other tools that you have listed on the site currently is ebook submission, which I was going to try to explain it, but rather than explain it wrong, why don't you explain it?
Using a free promotion is a pretty popular tactic for authors by setting your book free. But the problem is, if you just set it for free, there's thousands of other books that are free that day. And without any type of promotion of the promotion, you're not going to get any downloads. And so you're not going to get any exposure. So it's just going to be like a waste of your time. And so our tool allows you to submit to 30 plus free ebook websites. So you can do that manually, and it takes hours of your time. And we know authors don't like marketing. They don't like spending time on marketing. They know it needs to be done, but they hate spending time on it. So what our tool does is it allows you to fill out one form, and then it submits to those 30 plus sites in 5 to 10 minutes. So it takes hours of work and brings it down to just 5 to 10 minutes of work. And instead of filling out 30 different forms with all the same information, entering your title 30 times, entering your ASIN 30 times, your author name 30 times, you fill it out once, and then our tool fills it all out for you.
Are there any other tools that are being worked on? What is coming down the pipeline that you can talk about?
So we're currently working on launching a free and bargain book website. We have a lot of people on Twitter who are messaging us saying, hey, my book is free. And currently we don't have a way to promote books because our main audience is authors. And while authors are readers, they're not a specific target demographic unless we have a book that's specifically geared towards authors. So we're creating readingdeals.com. You can go there now to get on our mailing list, both as an author or a reader. we hope to be launching that here soon. We don't have a firm date for when we're launching that, but the website is live as far as where you can start to get information.
Can we just stop for a second and you make sure that everybody listening understands the thing that you just said? Stop trying to sell your books to other authors.
Amen.
It's crazy that people think that would work.
Yeah.
Or is it me? Is it me or is it crazy?
No, it would be crazy. And we run into it all the time where authors, we actually encourage people, if you're trying to sell your book on our platform or communities that we're part of, just don't do it.
Yeah. So the readers, the authors who are readers, they know where to find books. They know where to learn about books. And if you want an author to read your book, start a relationship with them. Start working with them. Start promoting their books. That will get you attention in their eyes. You'll be able to build that relationship. You'll be able to build that partnership. At that point, then they'll probably want to buy your book because they know you and like you. And it works the same way with readers. But if you're just trying to promote your book in author communities, you're wasting your time and you're not going to see the same results that you would if you were doing it in reader communities, specifically ones that are geared towards your genre.
Let's jump over to one of the really unique things that you offer. You have this Google Hangout series, and I love that. I think that's very cool. So tell the people at home what the deal is with your Google Hangout series.
Sure. The Google Hangout series that you're talking about is the Author Hangout. And that was built out of a real desire to start connecting with authors and start the education process. We wanted to be able to be a platform where authors are able to connect with those that may have gone a few steps ahead of them in terms of being able to show success in the efforts that they're doing in writing and publishing and then marketing their books. And so we wanted to facilitate that process. And so we said, how can we do that? And one of the things that Google Plus allows you to do is create these hangouts on air, where people can subscribe or sign up to say that they're going to be part of the show. They'll get a notification when the show's getting started. And we started that, I forget it was in February, that we got that kicked off. And really from the get-go, it has been in my mind, it's been a huge success in being able to fulfill that vision of providing an educational platform for authors.
And just to help people understand kind of the frame here, the Google Hangout, it's like a video conference call that other people can watch, and they can chat and everything, right? They can send you questions during this live thing. Yep,
absolutely. And throughout the entire process, we like to, when we started, we wanted to make sure that there was audience participation. And so we utilize that. We take comments that are coming through. We follow hashtags on Twitter. The Author Hangout is the hashtag that we are following. And so questions will come in from the Google Plus, as well as Twitter or any other location that we're monitoring. I forget which ones we're exactly monitoring, but the bottom line is that it's a very interactive experience. And we really have come to appreciate that style. And, over a course of time, you start getting fans, people who regularly show up for the show. And that's been a lot of fun.
Our season 2 is going to start in mid-September. We haven't dialed in the next date specifically, but we're going to take this break. Like Shawn said, we've been going since February, and we were kind of just going by the seat of our pants. We didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of figured it out as we went along. And so we're going to take a break for the summer, look back at what we did, what was awesome, what didn't work so well, trim the fat, and come back for season 2 with an even bigger, better show. So. And
RJ, now let's not kill the perception. They think we're like perfect, and we started from, like we knew what we were actually doing.
Yeah. No, well, I think if they know that we didn't know what we're doing, it just makes it look even that more awesome. So.
No, but we had some good feedback. I tell you what, the feedback that we've gotten throughout the entire process really has helped us hone in on what's the best show that we can give for the authors. And so that or the audience that we have, which includes, self-published authors, published authors, national best-selling authors. I mean, we really have found a place for people to connect, and it's really exciting. Now, as RJ was saying, we're going to be taking this summer and really dialing in what can we do to make this show even better. So we're going to have a couple focus groups, asking participants who've been on the show, going to talk with the audience members and find out what's the next stage of this. Can we make it better? What are those things that are going to connect authors and make this a quality platform for them to see every week?
One of the things about a Google Hangout is that after the fact, you have an episode, you have a tape replay. So is the focus on the live event and the tape replay is just what happened, or do you do any kind of editing, or is there any kind of thought to how you'd use the replay other than it's just there if somebody missed it?
So back in February when we first started, we thought it was all about the live event. All of the efforts and everything went into the live event. Then we realized there was just a limited amount of time somebody can be somewhere at a certain time of the day and with the internet now, it's global. We have fans listening across the world. So we quickly realized that additional content that was created from the live show was huge for educational purposes. So we created a podcast probably about a month later and got all of our past shows uploaded, and the podcast has been huge. Every day that we come out with a new episode, there's just tons of downloads, and we've been able to see that strong growth. We create shareable images of the top quotes from the episode, and those are very popular on Twitter and on Google Plus when we share them. And we also do a blog post write-up where we take the top quotes from our guest and organize it in a nice blog post. So if you don't have time to sit down and watch or listen to the show, that you can digest a lot of the main points in 5 to 10 minutes. So while we initially thought that the live event was it, we quickly realized that the live event was just a tool to create all of that additional content. I don't know if Shawn wants to add anything, but
we have plans to take the content that we're bringing together, and there are other cases where we're partnering with the hosts or the guests that have been on our show to extend that content out and provide additional resources for authors so that they can really be able to dive into a particular subject. So we have plans in the works already to do that.
I think this is a fine segue also into to talk about the second pillar, education. What are some other ways, in addition to the Hangout and the materials, that you educate authors?
Well, like I mentioned before, we have that free checklist for authors, and we've had feedback from authors that it's just really good. A lot of them just don't know what to do and where to start. So while it's not the most comprehensive every single marketing thing that you can possibly do, it gets somebody going on the right path as far as what you should be doing to market your book, both with passive things such as putting links to your other books in the back of your book. So when somebody finishes your book, they can buy the next one. Once you've done that, it's done, but it'll continue marketing for you, and other stuff where it's actually direct marketing, where you're going out and reaching readers and finding your fans where they're hanging out online. We also have our blog that is like any other blog, and we're starting to get guest posts from top people who are providing additional education and information that we just can't provide. And so it's been really nice to see that blog grow. Like I mentioned, we have the podcast as well that stemmed from the live author hangout events.
Yeah, and to add to that, we're book marketing tools, and we want to show how to market books. And so we have, as we're working through, at least one book in progress that just needs to be formatted and edited and cover design, all that fun stuff. And then we're going to start the marketing process for that. And then we have in the wings to that some other resources by way of guides and ebooks that we're going to be launching. And so the educational opportunity is to provide some direction as to what authors can do and have it all in one location. And there are a lot of people talking about, what you should do for book marketing and whatnot. And so we feel that we're pulling together some of those educational resources by way of experts that ultimately will help authors to market their books better.
What kind of authors is it all authors that are kind of eligible for your information or that are helped, or are there certain types of authors that come to you more often than others?
Yeah, the target market that we ultimately were going after were self-published authors. But what we found is that we have self-published authors, we have published those that have been published on New York Times bestseller lists. We have kind of across the gamut in that way, those that are just starting out and those that have been doing it for a while. And while certainly the area that we were focused on with our content is self-publishing, that's probably drawn in the majority of the people and authors that we have in.
And then how about like nonfiction versus fiction? Is it a pretty even mix?
Yeah, my expertise and Shawn's expertise is mainly nonfiction, but it's funny, if we offer any type of advice, the nonfiction people will say, oh, that's only for fiction authors, and the fiction authors will say, oh, that's only for nonfiction authors, for the same exact piece of helpful information. So what we're teaching is marketing, and marketing is the same whether you're selling donuts, whether you're the ice cream man, or whether you're a fiction author or a nonfiction author. Marketing principles are the same. The specific techniques that you might use might need to be a little bit fluid, but ultimately marketing principles are the same. And if you're utilizing marketing principles, then you'll be able to sell more books.
To add to that, that's where I think the checklist that we have, where we have over 1,000 authors have downloaded it already. It focuses on 4 core areas: your author brand, pre-publication, publication, and post-publication, and then ongoing. And so those core areas of book marketing are going to apply. And we're getting a lot of feedback from both sides of the fence that's saying, hey, this is really good.
Do you ever have any pushback from immature authors who think they're too good to be helped?
There's definitely been some. And I'm confused when authors reach out and say, this isn't working, I need help. And then when you provide some basic tips and ideas, they hit back at you and they act like they don't need help. They act like they've tried everything when it was obvious that they haven't. One major one that comes up all the time is book pricing. I see authors that have no reviews, no sales, no following, and they're trying to charge $6.99 for their book. And they're wondering why they're not getting any sales. And because they're not getting any sales, they're trying to price their book so high to make up as much money as they can with each sale because they're getting so few sales, instead of lowering the price. And while they'll earn less per book, they'll move more books and earn more in aggregate. Usually that's a very big hot button for many authors, and when you tell them that they need to lower their price, they get very mad at you. And so usually that is one of the issues. Cover design is another one. When it's an obvious amateur job on a cover design, you're competing with other authors who are paying a lot of money for cover designs. And while you don't always have to pay a lot of money, a lot of times you get what you pay for. And that's obvious to me. That's obvious to the random person who's browsing across your book. So I know those are hot button topics for authors. They love their cover and they don't want to change their price. They want to charge what they want to charge, but you need to look at what other people are charging. So there's definitely been some pushback, but overall there's a lot of grateful authors that just love getting any type of information because they're writers. They don't know marketing. They don't know business. And so giving them those basic business principles and marketing principles really has opened a lot of their eyes.
And then the third pillar for book marketing tools is community. And we've already talked about how the Google Hangouts, that there's a kind of community going on there with people being able to participate. What are some other ways that book marketing tools is fostering community?
one of the main things we've done is we really like Google Plus. We've done our Google Hangouts on there. Sean's on there every day. I'm on there every day. And so we've created a community on Google Plus called Book Marketing and Book Promotion. You can just do a search and filter by communities when you're on Google Plus, and you can find it. We have, I think last I looked, we have over 1,500 authors who are connected there. And so we're just trying to get people talking about book marketing, what's working for them, what isn't working for them. And we kind of let it just get away. We weren't following it too much, and it became overrun with authors promoting their books. And so we had to do a big crackdown, and some people left because they wanted to be able to promote their books there. And so, but
two other authors.
Two of the other authors in the community. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, ultimately, and so we share a lot of the stuff that we do, our hangouts, our blog posts, and other authors have come in, and other people just in the self-publishing industry have come in and shared different stuff about their various blog posts and their other tools, and just helpful information. And some really good discussions have come out of that once we kind of cut down on, hey, buy my book, hey, buy my book, hey, buy my book. So that's our main pillar for building community.
Okay, so what is the best way for people to get involved with book marketing tools? Is it bookmarketingtools.com? Just come to the site?
Yeah, if they come to bookmarketingtools.com or theauthorhangout.com, which redirects to our hangout posts on our blog, they'll be able to connect with us. If they get our free guide, the Ultimate Author Checklist, they'll also get our Tuesday tips. Every Tuesday morning, you'll get new book marketing tips in your email. That's the best way to connect. So you can learn about our tools there. You can learn, you can get our education there, both between the Hangout and the blog. You can contact us there. All of our social profiles are listed on there if you want to connect with us that way too. We're on Twitter. We're pretty strong on just chatting on Twitter. And so that's at BKMKTING on Twitter.
And so that second, make sure we have that second website. It's the Author Hangout with the word "the" in it.
Yes.
And then in fact, I just did this before the interview. I saw this free author checklist and signed up for it. So a free author checklist for book marketing online. And this is them signing up for your newsletter, right? But they get this free book?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi again, this is Chris Well, the editor of DIYAuthor.com. Do you write fiction? Then I'm thrilled to announce a brand new service that DIY Author is offering exclusively to authors like you. Tell me something, do you want members of the media to cover you or your book? Then you need a media kit on your website that makes the job of media professionals easier. We have a new service where DIY Author will create a custom digital media kit just for you that includes 3 kinds of author bios, an interview article suitable for press use, a Q&A with the author, a press release, and an audio interview on our brand new show, Fiction Taxi. For more details or to download a sample media kit, just go to DIYAuthor.com. This has been DIY Author. Please visit us online at DIYAuthor.com and be sure to sign up for our email newsletter. If you enjoyed this program, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. Until next time, keep writing. And remember, do it yourself doesn't have to mean do it alone.